Hello and welcome to our webinar. Today we will be presenting the launch of our new non-mandatory qualification. This qualification has been designed to support you to get your apprentice ready for endpoint assessment for the Level 3 Advanced Beauty Therapist Standard England only. So just a little bit of housekeeping. This session is being recorded. You will be sent a copy of the recording via GoToWebinar. Everybody is on mute. I will also be sending you a copy of the slides as well to accompany the recording. If you have any questions, please pop them in the question function on the control panel, and we will endeavour to answer your questions. Your questions really are important to us because they make up our frequently asked question guide, and that's what we will be starting with this new qualification. If you actually lose connection with the webinar, please use the original webinar link and that should get you back in. As I said, your questions are very, very important to us. So I've put a slide here, and at the end of the webinar, we'd like you to complete some feedback for us. You can either use the link to the form, which is on Microsoft Office, or you can take a picture of the QR code and straight away get the form up there and put your questions in. Like I said, it's really, really important because these webinars are designed from your feedback. So let's take a look at the agenda. So welcome to you all. We're really grateful that you're here. So we're going to be looking at the Level 3 Advanced Beauty Therapist Standard, take a look at the Qualification Approval and Quality Assurance. We're going to look at this on-programme solution price. Obviously you don't have to buy this qualification, but we've been asked for this. Where to find all the documentation, and a deep dive into the Qualification Handbook, and a look at we won't be looking at the logbook, but we do have a logbook to accompany this, and further support and questions if we have time. So today, presenting this webinar is going to be Emma and myself. So I'm now going to hand over to Emma, and she's going to take you through a couple of slides. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Sarah, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. My name's Emma Mackay and I'm the Industry Manager here at City & Guilds, looking after hair, beauty and retail. So as Sarah has already explained, we're going to be taking you through our new on-programme offer for the Advanced Beauty Therapist Standard. On the screen in front of you, you'll be able to see a slide providing an overview for the Advanced Beauty Therapist Standard. So as a really quick recap, this is a Level 3 standard. It was launched and approved for delivery by the Institute back in May 2020, so right in the heart of the COVID pandemic, hence why we are now bringing you this offer. This is a typical 18-month duration as a standard, and it has a really healthy funding band of £8,000 per apprentice. If we could go on to the next slide, please, Sarah. Okay, so as I said, this is a Level 3 standard. This standard can be undertaken by ideally an apprentice who has progressed from a Level 2. So somebody who really does have some experience working with the skin, the body, the hair, the nails and the body organs. They will also be looking, once undertaking this particular standard, they'll be working towards their English and Maths at Level 2. And this apprentice will be employed within a beauty therapy working environment. So just as a quick overview of what the apprentice is aiming to work towards in terms of their endpoint assessment, they'll be looking to complete, as part of the endpoint assessment, a knowledge test, an observation and technology demonstration, and also a professional discussion. Now, there's no mandatory element for the on-programme part of this apprenticeship standard. So we've been asked by a majority of our clients, please, can we provide something to support that journey of the apprentice, the employer and the provider whilst on programme, working towards the endpoint assessment. So this is a qualification that Sarah's going to tell you about a little bit later on. That we've put together to be able to map exactly to all of the scope, knowledge, skills, behaviours that would be needed to be able to be undertaken and demonstrated as part of the endpoint assessment, and also to be able to give an Ofqual regulated certification of completion for that apprentice to be able to show that they are qualified, they're studied, they're assessed, all of the different aspects of this advanced beauty therapist standard. Okay, thank you, Sarah. So what we did when coming together and deciding, goodness, what shall we provide as an on-programme solution for this advanced beauty therapist standard, is we started to look at the knowledge, skills and behaviours that had been put together from the steering group, and we started to map them towards some existing qualifications. So we started initially to map the new apprenticeship standard at level 3 to our existing NVQ at level 3. So some of you who are existing customers of City and Guilds will be familiar with the 3007 NVQ. So what we did is we looked at the existing 3007 units, and then we started to map across and pick apart some of the contents, so some of the duties, some of the knowledge and the skill from the new standard. And you'll be able to see from the screen in front of you, we provided a sort of simplified chart as such to highlight the key differences. Now, one of the key differences that you'll clearly be able to see here is the removal of the mandatory element of providing electrical epilation treatments. That's no longer in the new apprenticeship standard a mandatory component. So there are still health and safety type units, there are still contributing and planning to the promotional activities, there's some business management leadership type units and retailing that we'll tell you about in a few slides time. But fundamentally the key and core practical units are around body electrical treatments and mechanical treatments, facial electrical and mechanical treatments and body massage or manual therapy techniques. So we've seen the introduction of some new scope and range, knowledge and behaviours. We've also seen the introduction of some new treatments. So the introduction of the low intensity LED light has been brought in to both the body and facial treatments and electrical treatment units. Skin warming devices have been included for the body and radio frequency, and also radio frequency for the body. We've also seen the introduction of light touch massage, pressure point massage, and also those advanced techniques in the use of the forearm, the wrist and the elbow that we've recently seen in the introduction and the development of the technical qualifications that we launched about 5 years ago. So this will be a fantastic update for those NVQ type learners at the moment who've been using the existing NVQs as part of frameworks. We've also seen the removal of the mechanical massage, that G5, audiosonic, infrared type pieces of equipment. They are now removed from the body manual therapies unit. But you will be able to see there's some references to advanced manual therapy equipment. So if your particular apprentice was working in a salon that did use those pieces of equipment, by all means you can still include and stretch and challenge them as much as you wish to do so. So we did spend a good sort of few months looking at duties, knowledge, skills and behaviours. What were the differences? What's been added in additionally? What's been removed? But also, if we go to the next slide, Sarah, we had a look at the most recently published National Occupational Standards. So for beauty therapy, the most recent standards were published in August 2021. And what we also did is we looked at the existing NOS references, NOS titles, and the scope range within those. And we started again to map the standard, so the apprenticeship standard duties into those to see again, is there anything else that we could add, anything else that potentially could be removed with this new offer. So if we go on to the next slide. You will be able to see here what these occupational duties start to look like with the mapping of the knowledge and skills next to them. So duties is one of the new terminologies and new phrases now. Instead of units, I guess we would liken them to. And you'll be able to see that there's 13 duties mapped in front of you alongside knowledge statements and skill statements. The duties that are listed in front of you include such things as, again, the facial electrical mechanical, the body electrical mechanical, the manual therapy treatments, which to you and I most commonly known as sort of the body massage type unit. But you'll see there's some more introduction of additional duties around safe methods of working, around some of the terminology that's been introduced around the well-being of the therapist and the client, also risk assessment protocols, implementing organisational operational activities, and still including those supervisory studies as well. There's a really interesting duty around the continual professional development. So we are starting to see a more prominent feature of CPD running through a lot of the level 3 standards that have been revised recently. So there'll be a great opportunity for you to be able to promote even further to the your customers, your employers, your apprentices, that absolute essential requirement to continue to continually professionally develop. Add those, critical CPD courses, workshops and experiences alongside their apprenticeship program. Okay, Sarah, if you want to go on to the next slide. So what we've done is brought this all together for you. This is the fee for the endpoint assessment, but the fee that we've put together for the on-programme qualification is just £70. And again, Sarah's going to talk to you about that in a few slides' time. But ultimately, we're working together to support you in working towards the endpoint assessment. So the endpoint assessment for City and Guilds is priced at £800 per apprentice. There's an opportunity to have a maximum of 2 apprentices assessed by 1 independent endpoint assessor at any time. So there is opportunity for us to be able to do that so that they're not on their own, but obviously a lot of apprentices are out in salons that are few and far beyond on the high street, for example. So you may need to take advantage of that one-to-one assessment more so. There is, as we said, the knowledge test, the professional discussion, and the observation with technology demonstration to consider. Today's webinar is very much focused around the on-programme element, but we will be touching here and there on what that means to break that down and what the apprentice will actually need to be able to do a little bit later on. Okay, Sarah? So we did do a previous webinar, I think it was a few weeks ago now, if not a couple of months ago. I think on the next slide, we've got some details there to share with you. So on our website, you will be able to find under the key information section of our website, under the beauty and complementary therapies subtitle, that you've got some of your YouTube videos on there. So if you wanted to have a little look at the overview of this particular standard for the on-programme element and also the endpoint assessment element, please do take a look on the website, have a look through that webinar, and you'll be able to see a really great overview of what it means, funding bands, timings, and those endpoint assessment elements. But today, Sarah's going to take you through a real deep dive into that on-programme qualification that we've put together for you. Okay, I think that might be the end of my section, Sarah.
Thanks, Emma. That's really super.
No problem.
Hi. Oh, this slide came in the wrong place. Sorry, attendees. Yes, as Emma stated, the full cost of the qualification, which is 700503, is £70. So there you are. There's that slide. So I'm going to talk to you about the qualification approval and the quality assurance attached to this qualification. So if you've not delivered 300755 or 600330, you will need full approval for this qualification. And I have put a link here to show you the quality assurance standards and centre approval processes. But I would imagine that most of you have delivered either or 6003 or 3007, which means that you can go for a fast track approval for this qualification. You can find the fast track approval under 7005, that is sat there waiting for you. So that is there for you. So fast track approval is available for 12 months from the launch of the qualification, and after 12 months, centres will have to go through the standard qualification approval process. So again, there's the approval process if you are new to City and Guilds or you haven't run a technical or an NVQ before. Now we're going to take a look at the quality assurance here. So obviously I've said that, you know, approved centres must, well, I have said that you need approval, but approved centres do need to have an effective quality assurance process in place. And there are more details on our quality assurance standards on the City and Guilds website. But this slide is just for your information. But I'd like to pay attention to the IQA role. And as an IQA for this qualification, the appropriate teaching and vocational knowledge and expertise, work experience in quality management and internal quality assurance is required. Also, that you need to hold or be working towards the appropriate, if you don't hold it already, the appropriate teaching and training and assessing qualification, and be familiar with the occupation and the technical content covered in this qualification. And of course, there is an external quality assurance for this qualification, and that'll be provided by City and Guilds, us. That's our EQA processes. So as a centre, you'd be appointed an EQA, and the EQA will monitor the assessment and internal quality assurance carried out by centres. So that external quality assurance is carried out to ensure that the assessment is valid, reliable, and that there are good assessment practices seen. And the role of an EQA is to provide centres advice and support, ensuring that the quality and consistency of the assessments, you know, and the sampling, and really to give you really good feedback and make sure that, you know, we are supporting you as EQAs, that, you know, we give you that feedback to help you to improve your delivery and your sampling. So where to find the qualifications on our website? So if you are familiar with our website, if you go to the website and you're familiar, if you go to the right-hand corner, you'll see a search bar there, a search tab. So if you just type in 7005, it will take you to all the key documents you need and are required to deliver this non-mandatory qualification. So let's take a deep dive now into the handbook, and we're going to just glance at the logbook. So our on programme non-mandatory qualification, as you can see from this slide, is all about 700503, and as you can see, we have a handbook and it's ready. It'll be ready to download from November. And the handbook gives you the information you need to get your apprentice to their endpoint assessment as mapped to the IFATES assessment plan. And as you can see on there, we have, there's going to be assessment types of which I'll talk about later, the portfolio, the knowledge test, discussions, professional discussions and assignments. And we will be having, you know, like I say, the logbook, sample assessments and smart screen. And at the bottom of this slide, on the left-hand side, you can see there the QAN number there, that's 601-15155, and the guided learning hours are 410, and the total qualification time is 450. So this takes us now to what the handbook basically tells you, what you need to know to deliver the qualification. So in here, let's take a look at it. So the level 3 diploma for the advanced beauty therapist is a qualification designed for learners who are at least 16 years of age and who wish to enhance their skills and knowledge working as an advanced beauty therapist. So entry requirements are the completion of the level 2 beauty therapy apprenticeship standard or equivalent qualification. As a level, we see the level 2 is a fundamental foundation of our job. So that's really, really important that, you know, that they do either, they've done a level 2 standard or they've done an equivalent qualification. So the qualification covers all core knowledge and skills needed to become that competent advanced beauty therapist. The primary focus on this qualification is for all advanced services, if you like, and it's designed to be to implement bespoke treatment plans for advanced body treatments and facial treatments and services. But I've lost my thread. Advanced massage techniques, technical therapies such as face and body, electrical treatments, and all treatments need to meet the therapist needs to meet and manage the client's needs and expectations from this qualification. They've also got to be able to implement and organise operations within the salon, such as using salon business systems and processes, protecting data. And this is to comply with the legal and regulatory requirements and also contribute to the financial effectiveness of the business, maintaining and maximising resources. Now, an example of this is looking at, working with people, the equipment, consumables within that business. So the opportunities for progression for the apprentice. So once achieving the level 3 diploma, the apprentice will be able to work responsibly and independently, delivering the advanced treatments in a private, secure and safe environment. However, the advanced beauty therapist will also be able to, should be able to supervise and support other team members within the business. So it is quite a hefty bit on supervising, mentoring and probably coaching. It's been developed to support and enhance the on-programme requirements for the Level 3 Beauty Advanced Apprenticeship Standard, covering the required knowledge, skills and behaviours. So, centres like colleges, training providers, employers did ask for this qualification to support that endpoint assessment. So as I say there, it has been obviously developed by employers and designed by employers. So if we take a look now at some of the structure of the qualification that the apprentice must achieve. So the apprentice must achieve the 6 units, as you can see from this slide. So we have our 301, which is consult, assess and plan and prepare for beauty treatments. 302, implement and maintain safe and hygienic and effective working practices. 303, implement and maintain operational working practices to include business, retail and promotional activities. 304, provide body electrical therapy treatments. And 305, provide facial electrical therapy treatments. And 306 is to provide body massage treatments using advanced techniques, as Emma stated. So we'll just take a look at this total qualification time and what this means for you. So the total qualification time is a number of hours which represent an estimate of the total amount of time that could reasonably be expected for a learner to demonstrate the achievement necessary to be awarded this qualification. So the total qualification time is comprised of the following 2 elements. The number of hours that the awarding organisation has assigned to the qualification and an estimate of number of hours a learner will reasonably like to spend in preparation, study or a form of participation in education or training, including assessment, which takes place as directed by, but unlike guided learning hours, not under immediate guidance or supervision of a lecturer, supervisor, tutor or other appropriate provider of education or training. So there is an element of them learning on their own, and that could be from going to doing their own sort of research, maybe taking, if they're already in employment and they're working say with a product house, they may do further training that can be sort of delivered, put against the total qualification time. As we looked at the beginning of the handbook, it does state on this slide the support materials that we have for you, the candidate logbook, sample assessments, assessors instructions and smart screen, and they're the links for you to have a look at these resources. Now what I'm going to look at now, we're going to look at the assessment of the qualification and how it's broken down across the 6 units. So we have our cross-unit knowledge test. So this is an online test, and obviously there is the assessment. So where to obtain the assessment materials on that end right-hand column, they're all there for you. So 301 is a bit different, and I think Emma and I were really pleased about the way this, the structure of the assessment turned out for this qualification, because we normally do end of unit tests for every single unit, but it's a little bit of a mix up here to help that learner move towards that endpoint assessment. So as you can see, 301, the consult, assess, plan and prepare beauty treatments. This will be assessed by a portfolio and a professional discussion instead of an end of test, which, you know, we really feel this will benefit the apprentice going forward for that endpoint assessment when they have to do that professional discussion with an IEPA. So we were chuffed with that one. Then we have 302. Obviously, this is the health and safety. Now, this will be a portfolio and online test. And again, 303, the implement and maintain operational working practices to include business, retail and promotional activities, will be a portfolio and an assignment. So there's a range of assessment to this qualification, whereas you can see 304, 305 and 306 will be a portfolio and online test, making sure they have that real understanding of these electrical equipment that they're using and the advanced techniques for body massage. So if we look at the assessment strategy in more depth, units are assessed through a portfolio of evidence. So the evidence in the portfolio is a skills learning outcomes that they must generate in the workplace or a realistic working environment. Learners, the evidence of portfolio, learners and centres may decide to use a paper-based portfolio or an electronic. That is totally up to you. Sitting Girls do endorse several e-portfolio systems, and we do have our own, which is our learning assistant. We have developed a set of recording forms, including examples of completed forms for new and existing centres to use. The recording forms are available on the Sitting Girls website. New centres are expected to use these forms, but you can devise your own forms. But I just feel that you do need to get, if you do devise your own forms, you need to get them checked out by your EQA before you start assessing the candidate. So sources of evidence, what are we looking for here for this portfolio? Well, they should include several pieces of evidence and contain sufficient evidence to demonstrate the knowledge and skills required for each unit. So evidence sources may include training logbooks, centre produced worksheets, activities, annotated photographs, video clips, maximum of 10 minutes, workplace documentation records, so example, job cards, job sheets, equipment checks, maintenance of equipment and treatment records. So they're the types of evidence that you include. It's not a definitive list, and other evidence is permitted. So that is not the definitive list for the portfolio, but evidence must include, can't include, any methods of self-assessment and employer contributions. And though you can have employer contributions, but they can't be an opinion. Which, a lot of people say, well, I feel that apprentice is really, really good. It's got to focus on direct observation, and that really, the best way for that is witness statements rather than, employer opinions. And the qualification registration is valid for the next 5 years. So if we look at the test specifications here, so we've obviously got our cross-unit knowledge test. So the pass mark here is 16, and that 16 marks, and the duration is 45 minutes. For the consultation, the pass mark is 11, and that's 30 minutes. For the health and safety, if you like, the maintaining a safe, hygienic and effective working practice, the pass mark is 14, and the duration of that is 30 minutes. For the implementation and maintain operational working practices, the pass mark is 14, and the duration is 30. I'm going to stop myself there because the consultation 601 is going to be a professional discussion. This slide is actually, oh, never mind, but just ignore me on the consultation and the implementation. It's just that there's one of the consultation is the professional discussion, and the implementation of maintain working practices is an assignment. So units 604, which is provide body electrical therapy, the pass mark is 10. The mark is 10 and the duration is 30 minutes. And the facial electrical therapy treatments is 14 marks, 30 minutes. And the body massage treatments for the advanced techniques is 13 marks and it's 30 minutes. What I will do before I send the slides out, I will take those out and I'll just put in there the professional discussion and the assignment. I really do apologise. I've scrutinised these slides today and obviously missed that. Now, no materials are permitted into the exam for these end of unit exams, and they are a pass or a fail. I do apologise for this slide. Now let's take a look. This is a logbook. I'm not going to go through the logbook, but I may do a webinar on just the logbook moving forward if people wish to have that. So this is available for you to download on our website free of charge, and it gives you a summary of achievement, a complete list of the units, and it'll also tell you what the apprentice, what you must do, what you must cover, and what you must know, what the apprentice. So it's a really a good, I had a look, it's a really good logbook. So, you know, obviously if you want to download that, like I said, it's free of charge. Now we're going to take a closer look at the assessment requirements for this on-programme qualification solution for you. So the next few slides. Yes?
Sarah, did you want to do questions as you're going along or wait until the end?
We can do. Have you got some questions there, Emma?
There's just one at the moment. Hi, is there a registration fee for the endpoint assessment?
Yes, there will be. I think, is it £40, Emma?
Yeah, I think there was a few slides ago, so potentially that question might have been asked before we shared that slide. But we can double check for you, we can pop it in there. But there's typically a registration fee when you book your endpoint assessment to make your booking, and then you'll be invoiced following the activity for the full cost.
Thank you, Emma.
Okay, and that's it for now.
Thank you. Right, so this first slide is a breakdown from the handbook, and it's showing you Unit 301, consult, assess and plan and prepare for beauty treatments. And it tells you the guided learning hours there and how it will be assessed, which is a portfolio and professional discussion. And this unit is about carrying out consultation assessment, planning and preparation for obviously a service that the apprentice will be given. And it's about following, you know, treatment protocol, legislation, regulatory and organisational requirements, and maintaining, you know, that making sure they maintain that safe, hygienic, effective working practice. And it's advisable that you are aware of and comply with first aid requirements, you know, any related legislation, manufacturers' protocols, and your own, you know, and the business's organisational policies and procedures. So there's going to be 2 learning outcomes on there, which is that consult, assess and plan, and know how to consult, assess and plan and prepare for beauty therapies. So the supporting evidence here is basically it's telling us that the simulation is not allowed for any performance evidence within the unit. The apprentice must practically demonstrate this in their everyday work, that they have met the standard for consulting, assessing, planning and preparing for beauty treatments. These consultations will be performed holistically in line with various treatments that the therapist will be giving. The apprentice will have to present 5 consultation forms and must consider within each consultation skin classifications, conditions, sensitivity, and the types of information the client will disclose. And the assessor will observe their performance on at least 5 occasions. From the range, they must practically demonstrate that they have considered all treatment areas, considered and disclosed conditions, inform the clients of their rights, and provided all instructions. And most evidence of their performance will be gathered from an observation made by the assessor, but they may be required to produce other evidence to support their performance if the assessor has not been present. If we look now at Unit 302, which is implement and maintain safe, hygienic and effective working practices. Again, this will be assessed by a portfolio knowledge test. And if we look, this is really about them complying with all that health and safety, maintaining, infection control, hygiene practices, looking at all the protocols, legislation, and again, their organisational requirements. So again, it's advisable, that they're aware and comply with first aid, legislation, manufacturers' protocols, and their organisation's policies and procedures. And again, there's two learning outcomes here. So obviously they've got to implement and maintain those safe working practices and actually know how to implement and maintain them as well. Supported evidence here is, again, there is no simulation allowed for this unit, and within their work they must show the assessor that they can meet this performance criteria, that they are working in that safe, hygienic way. This unit will be performed holistically in line with various treatments, as all the units will be, but the assessor will observe again a performance on at least 5 occasions from a range. They must practically demonstrate what they have considered in all the working environment, and be assessed and disposed of, or how they are assessed. They'll be assessed and how they dispose of the waste. And again, the evidence will come from observation, but they may be required to produce other evidence to support their performance. So now we're coming into some sort of meaty units now. So here we are with the implementation of the operational working practices. So this is the business and retail and promotional activities unit. This will be assessed via a portfolio and assignment. And I'm not going to read the aims of that, but we're going to look at the learning outcomes. So if you can see here, the learning outcomes are that they should be able to instruct, advise and assist in the sale and promotion of products and treatments, assist with stock management, contribute to productivity, time management, financial effectiveness of the business, work with others in an individual or a team or a supervisory capacity, know how to instruct, advise and assist in the sale or promotion of any products or services or treatments, know how to assist in stock management, know how to contribute to productivity using their time management and financial effectiveness, so there's no waste in the business, and know how to work with others in an individual role or team or as a supervisory capacity. And again, there's no, for the evidence requirements, there is no simulation allowed for any of the performance. The assessor on this one will observe the apprentice in one observation, and that'll be when they are planning and implementing a promotional activity. In addition, the apprentice will need to collect further documentary evidence to show that they have met all the requirements of the standard. And from the range, they must cover, one display unit, so participated in at least one display of products or services that they are promoting, demonstrate all instructional techniques for the product or the service that they're going to be promoting, participated in productivity and basically the development of targets of maybe that service or that product that they're going to be promoting, carried out team activities and worked with others in that promotional sort of environment when they're promoting something. So we look at the body electrical here. So as you can see on this one, on the aim, there are an awful lot of obvious machinery there. You've got your electric muscle stimulation, your galvanic, your microcurrent, your microdermabrasion, your low intensity LED, as Emma stated, that's new, warming devices, which is new, and the radio frequency, new. And we've got lymphatic drainage equipment, and this is all to improve and maintain the skin and the body condition. So again, these are all the machineries that you will be teaching your apprentice. So again, there's 2 learning outcomes here. So it's to provide electrical therapy and to know how to provide electrical therapy treatments. That's that knowledge that they need to take into consideration. So the evidence requirements, again, simulation is not allowed, but within their work, the apprentice must show the assessor that they have met all the performance criteria here. Again, this unit will be performed holistically in line with various treatments that the client may be having. The apprentice needs to take into account the client's body type, characteristics, postural stance, and any expected reactions, adverse or unexpected reactions that may happen within that treatment. And again, the assessor will observe the apprentice on 5 separate occasions, which must involve at least 5 clients, for 5 different clients there. From the range, they must practically demonstrate that they have confirmed all adverse reactions that may happen in that service, met all the body electrical protocols, considered all body type classifications, all body characteristics, considered all posture, their posture analysis, very, very important, especially with body massage, selected the correct products, tools and equipment, and provided all instructions. And again, the evidence will be gathered, obviously by observation, but they may be required to add further evidence to support the performance moving, to help them move forward. Facial electrical therapy here, and you can see that it's the same pieces of equipment and machinery that are going to be used as for the body. And again, there's 2 learning outcomes. So that's provide. That's going to be when they're going to be, doing their treatments, provide body electrical therapy, and know how to provide the body electrical therapy treatments. And that's that knowledge again. So again, no simulation allowed. And again, they'll be demonstrating this in their everyday work, and they have to meet the standard of providing facial electrical treatments. Again, as I said, it's holistic, and the assessor will observe that apprentice's performance on 5 separate occasions with 5 separate clients, making sure that they've confirmed any adverse reactions, met all the facial electrical treatment protocols, considered all skin classifications, skin conditions, skin types, selected the correct use of products, tools and equipment, and provided all instructions to help that client with their maybe aftercare moving forward. And again, the majority of this evidence will be gathered via observation made by the assessor. Now, if we look at the body massage treatments using advanced techniques, again, this will be a knowledge test and portfolio. And again, there will be 2 learning outcomes. That's the providing the treatment, the body massage treatment using advanced techniques, and the knowledge, know how to provide that body massage treatment using advanced techniques. So again, simulation is not allowed for this unit, and the apprentice must practically demonstrate in their everyday work that they have met the standard for providing the body massage treatment using advanced techniques. And the assessor will observe their performance on at least 6 occasions with the 5 different clients, which must include 1 full body massage, inclusive of scalp, as a 90-minute treatment, 1 30-minute seated massage treatment over clothes, 3 60-minute treatments covering a minimum of 3 areas or a full body and scalp, and 1 45-minute treatment that covers 2 areas. So this is what must be covered. Now, the evidence here from the range is they must consider the lifestyle profiles, confirmed and agreed all adverse reactions, again, considered the body classifications, considered at least 4 body characteristics, considered and provided a postural analysis for their clients, covered all pre-treatment preparations, met all advanced body massage treatment protocols, and used all massage mediums, tools and equipment, advanced body massage techniques, and used all application techniques, covered all areas, and covered at least 4 therapeutic effects, and provided all aftercare guidance and instructions at the end of each service. Do we have any questions there, Emma?
I will just have a look for you. Yes, we do. Okay. If we use the logbook, do you have to use the mapping document?
It's mapped over.
Yes, there's not a separate mapping document, so I'm not sure.
With the mapping document that we had on there, had on the slides, everything is mapped over to the logbook. So if you use the logbook, everything, the knowledge, skills and behaviours are actually mapped to the logbook.
Thank you. That's great. That's everything. Thank you.
Okay, so further support. So we have our we have resources to support the apprentice on that journey. So obviously we have our enhanced smart screen where we have our lesson plans, handouts, e-learning videos, individual learning plans, schemes of work, worksheets, and lots more. And we have our writable PDFs within the enhanced smart screen platform, and each unit will have a textbook transferred into an ebook on the platform too. So if anybody is interested in looking or having a demonstration on that, or I can actually get your business manager to give you access for a couple of hours so you can have a look round and make your decision. Obviously, with every qualification in City and Guilds, a digital badge will be awarded. This has got hair on there because we are working on the metadata behind the digital badge for the advanced beauty therapist. But digital badges really are a great opportunity for apprentices and any learner to share exactly, you know, what they've achieved, and not just, you know, keep it to themselves. They can share it on all social media platforms, and it's really, for me, it's very much like a CV. It's a digital CV. So our digital credentials that we send out are free of charge. We don't charge for these, but what you must do when you register a learner on the On programme is to put their personal email address within that registration, because they will probably have left college by the time they get this digital badge. And if you put their college or their training provider's email address in there, that will go to, they won't have access to that anymore. So make sure that you do put their personal email address in there. And like I say, you know, we've had a real good survey on this, and our learners and our apprentices are really enjoying, you know, sharing these badges. And these badges are skills tagged as well for job opportunities. So I think, you know, there's moving forward, this is the way we'll be going with our certificates, if you like. You'll still get your paper certificate and your e-certificate, and the digital badge is just an extra for you. Again, I have put the webinar QR code there, and please, you know, fill in the feedback form, because, you know, my next webinar will be for this qualification, will be designed by what you require from myself and Emma. So it is really important that you complete that. I've put further support here for you. Keep in touch. I've put our centre support email address and telephone number. That's for general support. But if you want support for endpoint assessment, I've also put our support team's email, telephone number. And we do have a web chat as well for their endpoint assessment, if you're into web chat. And I ask this to every webinar and every network meeting. You know, please go onto our website and go on. If you can scroll down to the bottom and you'll see email updates. Please sign up for any updates you may require for the endpoint assessment or for, you know, whatever qualification you need. And that takes us to the end. Has anybody got any questions? Has anybody got any questions?
There is, yeah, there's 2 more questions there. Sarah. So if we use the logbook, we don't need to complete the mapping document to take them through Gateway.
No, we don't need to. I mean, the logbook, they can use it. I think it's a great way of checking it. I'd just make sure that all those the skills, knowledge, and behaviours are being actually met. I think that, I would do it myself, but we have mapped it all over. But yeah, for me, I would just make sure that, because you can go onto the assessment plan and see exactly the knowledge, skills, and behaviours. But what you've done there, Emma, we've taken that slide. If you see that slide that we worked on, that slide actually has been taken from IFATE's assessment plan.
Thank you.
That's there.
And is age 16 not young to embark on level 3?
Yes, I think it is, but that is just a standard. It's just a standard statement, really. There would nobody be at 16. I would imagine doing a level 3 apprenticeship. They need to do the level 2 first, which would take them to, nearly 18.
Yeah, and I think, myself being back from a FE management background, we did have, I think, 2 in my 15 years there. Apprentices start at level 3 straight in at 16. They had, copious amounts of sort of workplace and experience that, they'd worked in, I think, family salons. So it's not something that is a complete no. And I think obviously Age Discrimination Act and things like that, we had to be very careful, didn't we, about, yeses and no's there. However, I think, yeah, the expectation would very much be, wouldn't it, that they'd have been on their level 2 journey first, so they'd have had all the knowledge, skills from those typical level 2 types of, I guess, treatments and services as well. But that's it. That's all the questions.
Well, thank you very much. Like I say, I'll have a look at the slides again, and I'll send you the deck out, and I'll just take the I'll just put the professional discussion and the assignment on one of the slides. But thank you for joining us. It's been our pleasure. I hope you've got something out of this. Please, please do fill in the survey, because that will shape the next webinar that we will be doing. Hope you have a lovely evening, and thank you for joining Emma and myself.